Welcome back to another conversation with Uncle D. Real talk with Uncle D. Hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful weather that's starting to emerge. We just had about a week of rain, so loving this sunshine. Able to get out and get some fresh air, and it's not getting too hot, not just yet. But anyways, I wanted to get on and talk to you guys today. Had a conversation with a guy yesterday. He's going through some things with his wife. They've gotten to the point of separation, and he is, I guess you can say, they're constantly arguing and fighting. I mean, about everything. While him and I were talking, she actually called him twice, and he stepped aside, but you can hear him arguing. And when he got back, I said, man, is everything okay? And man, I think she's gone. She's done. She's moved. But she's arguing about everything. Really? Okay, so I said, if she's arguing with you, then obviously there's something still there. So you guys remember our first episode, is love worth fighting for? And remember in that, I first of all said, yes, if you love someone and they love you back, yes, hell yes, it's worth fighting for. But I also said, don't be a fool. Now, if you're doing all the pursuing and trying to get things worked out and she's just not hearing it, at some point you gotta let go and let God. Now, when you're dealing with matters of the heart, love, there's always a fine line. And what I mean by that is, especially men, we think that the women are emotional. Actually, we are too. We just wear it differently. Women get emotional and they tend to let us know more boisterous than we do. But I want you guys to understand, it's not just to the women, or to the men rather, but to both. When someone is truly done with you, I don't give a damn what you do. I don't give a damn what you say, where you go. I don't care. So therefore, I have no more emotional ties to you or what you're doing. Does that make sense? So the fact that someone is still willing to argue with you, to give you that emotional energy, there's still sparks there. Maybe on fumes, but it's still something there. Because when you're totally done with someone, or they're totally done with you, I don't care what you say or do. It has no more effect for me. So the fact that his wife is still calling and arguing with him, she still has emotional energy there. Now, you can say, well, she moved out, Yeah, that was just a power play. Maybe it was something that was even necessary for her at that moment to separate from the situation that may have caused their issues. But moving out doesn't mean she's totally done. Now, that may be part of the next step, but maybe she just had to separate herself for whatever reason, to give her some room, give him some room, keep from doing something stupid. Sometimes that emotional energy, we do things that will cause us to end up with some time because we're in the moment. And in that moment, we just react. So sometimes it's good You know, and people are level-headed enough to realize they have to separate themselves from that situation. So notice I'm not taking a side in this saying she was right, he was right, or what the issue was that caused the breakup. It really doesn't matter in this conversation. What matters is that there was still emotional energy there. And when you have emotional energy, regardless of whether it's on fumes or fully loaded, it can be fixed. You just have to find the right energy to tap back into it. So she can be, you this, you that, you MF this, and you that, you this, you that. And granted, sometimes we don't want to hear that. You know, we're taking it all in as just disrespect, you know, or we're taking it in as, you know, all you're doing is screaming and you're hollering, you're not listening to me, and you're this, you're that. That means you just hadn't found a way to tap back into that energy. So you can't have two people be combative when you're trying to fix a situation. It won't work. You know, at some point, one has to pause long enough for the other to say what they're trying to say, and you not take it personal so that you can digest it and finally hear what they're saying. And sometimes, and it's not just, you know, for women, sometimes we don't pay attention to what the other is trying to tell us. That too can lead to a breakup. And so when you're trying to reconcile, that person is so used to you not listening that they will start to say things expecting you to stop them, expecting you to butt in, expecting you to overtalk them. And then it'll be a surprise to them when you're actually quiet long enough for them to say what they're saying. And you will notice this because if you just be quiet and let them talk, they'll ramble for a second, even get loud, because they're again, you see you over talking or interjecting, but then it'll surprise them that you didn't say anything, that you're actually listening. So when you do that, you will notice that they're like, and sometimes they're not even talking about anything of importance. They're just trying to get their whatever point they want across. So I would say, and what I said to him was, look, next time she calls you, just say, hey, listen, I'm sorry if I'm seeming combative. I really want to hear what you have to say. And, you know, if she's not used to you doing that, her normal response would be like, yeah, right, no, you ain't, blah, blah, blah. But just be quiet. Don't say anything. Let her ramble that out too. And then when she's done, say, hey, you know, like I said, I really want to hear what you have to say because I want us to fix this. And then, you know, you have a door that you can now hopefully open. But the main thing is she's giving you enough energy to find a way back. Ladies, he may give you enough energy. He may talk bad to you. He may this, that, and the other. But just like with women, if a man is done, I don't need to call you a hoe. I don't need to call you this. I don't need to call you that. I don't need to try to run up on you. It doesn't matter. That energy's dead. So why would I give you any energy of mine if I have no emotional tie left for you? So we have to check that first and foremost. If you're really wanting to fix a relationship and your significant other is arguing, being combative, rather than be combative back, you have to take a deep breath. And it may not be the first time you communicate. It may not be the second time you communicate. But you have this like a frequency on a radio. You know, sometimes we have to keep fine-tuning that dial, at least for the older folks that know what it's like to have to turn that dial and, oh, the station was almost there. Hey, go back. Oh, you almost had it. Go back. That's how this is. You're not going to probably get it right on the first time, you know, say something that she or he would say, oh, there you are. Oh, I love you. I'm ready to come back. Everything, we can work it out. No. You're going to have to find that frequency. And once you find it, you got to lock it in. And you have to change. Remember what I said too, and is love worth fighting for? We have to be willing to change within ourselves so that we don't go back to what caused us to be separated in the first place. Otherwise, it's a moot point. So if you're going to go through all of that, make sure you're willing to put the work in. Make sure you're willing to, excuse me, make sure you're willing to change. And if you are, I apologize for the dog noise. It is almost summer and dogs are out, and you know, but anyways, you can make it work. Now, when a woman is just, no matter what you say, excuse me, guys, I have something in my throat, but when a woman has no more fight for you, when she's not only not returning your calls, but she's not giving you the bad texts, she's not blowing your phone up, she's not inquiring about your whereabouts, either she's already on fumes or she's done. And if there's no more energy left to tap into, again, I don't care what you say or do, it's done. So at that point, you have to find a whole new way to reintroduce yourself to that person. And then even then, you have to realize that in introducing yourself to that person, reintroducing rather, all they know about you is what last occurred. So with that being said, the best course of action there is time. You can't be the spokesperson for yourself anymore. It has to come from someone else. And it has to come from someone that she or he deems worthy. And what I mean by that is someone they trust. Girl, I seen so-and-so the other day. He's doing well. Really? Yeah, looks like he finally got his stuff together. Really? Guys, hey, we seen old girl out the other day. Oh, was she out at the club? No, actually she ran into her at the grocery store, and seemed like she's got her stuff together. Oh, really? She this, she that? No, she looked like she had her stuff together. It has to start coming from someone else, because you burnt that bridge. That's the only way of reintroducing yourself. It has to be co-signed, unfortunately. And so, with that being said, if that love at some point was truly real, with enough time, she or he will remember that. She or he with the cosign will say, okay, well, this was, they'll replay the bad things in their head. And if that cosigner is saying, wow, it seems like he or she has fixed that, they may test that water. You may get a text or a call and say, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, I'm fine. How are you? Well, I'm not trying to get back together with you. That's typical response. Say, hey, it's fine. I'm doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. I appreciate you reaching out. Have a good day. Wow. Now they're used to you chasing, and now you're not. So that shows a level of maturity. You're growing up. And growing up doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 40 years old and still growing up. So, with that being said, energy, guys, energy. Pay attention to what's going on in your life, in your significant other's life. Pay attention to the conversation and energy that's being thrown at you. And if you can do that, you can save yourself a lot of heartache. Sometimes, like I said before, is that we take things for granted. We take our significant others for granted, our friends for granted, our family for granted. And we feel like, hey, they'll always be there. And sometimes we do things intentionally and sometimes we don't. We just don't pay attention. We're not tuned in until it's too late. And with that being said, we can go back later and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen, or I didn't mean to say that, but when you've hurt someone, we can't control how they're supposed to respond, whether we think it's petty or not. We can't control that. So we have to pay attention, guys, before things get out of hand. But just know that a woman scorned is also a little different than just a woman throwing heat at you. That's a topic for another day. But feed off the energy. Recognize the energy that someone's giving you. And you will know the difference between a woman scorned or a man scorned that's really out to do you harm, not necessarily physical, but in any other way that they can, compared to just someone arguing. Because when someone is cold, calculating, and trying to hurt you, whether it's your freedom, whether it's your job, whether it's taking you away from family members, that's a whole different beast. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the frequency of the energy that's coming at you. Okay? With that being said, I hope you guys are again enjoying this beautiful weather. Summertime is almost officially here. Hopefully all these rains and storms that have been hitting the country are over with for at least for a little bit. And we can enjoy this weather, get our walks on, get our camping on, get outdoors. But I wish you all the best. Love each other. Talk to each other. Couples, talk to each other. Remember what I said, you must be on one accord. And if you're not, that frequency is gonna get off tune. Some will, hold on for a little longer than others. But stay on one accord. With that, I say I love you all. I wish you all the best. Like, share, and subscribe as always. And I look forward to talking to you guys again. Real Talk with Uncle D.